Hello, everyone. God, I missed you. I missed being here. I missed doing this podcast. I feel like it's been forever since I picked up this microphone. It's just been so crazy busy. So before we get into the topic of the most converting content, the most converting type of content that you could be creating right as of right now, and we're going to get into that today. Let me just give you little things about what's going on in my world right now. Oh man, I just got back from Portugal, went to go visit my brother for his birthday, and we did it close to my boyfriend's birthday. So we celebrated both of them, both Pisces boys, the 10th and the 13th, my man on the 13th, my brother on the 10th. And it was so nice to go visit my brother in his new home country. He just moved over there. I mean, can you believe it? This guy, like, let me just tell you a little story about how my brother is in early retirement. He just turned 35. He's been in early retirement for the last 2 years. And it's been just absolutely incredible how he's done this for himself, where he turned, like a shit situation into gold. Basically he had an altercation with someone on drugs while he was a cop. And he was a police officer for Oceanside, and he fell on his hand. He fell on his hand that holds his gun, and he fell on it wrong. And he had gotten surgery and everything, and the doctors still wouldn't deem him fit to, continue to be on the force. And so they retired him early. And although my brother did not want to, be retired early, we all knew it was a blessing in disguise, especially me, my mother, and my sister, just because we just started to see the jadedness, or just feel like my brother just had this this energy that just didn't feel very good. And he always kind of had this very to himself, very stoic energy about him. It was like he almost forced himself not to smile because you wanted him so badly to. It was kind of like that vibe. And so for him to basically, have the situation where he no longer is able to be in the forest, he had to just kind of do something different. And so he ended up realizing that his pension would pay for him and his lady, his girlfriend, if they were to move to a different country. So they were looking at all different countries, and they went through the hoops. They jumped through hoops just to get their visas so that they could actually buy in these countries, like buy a house or a condo or something. And they finally did it after 9 months of, really pushing, really going for it. And, most people in those situations would just give up. They would just absolutely give up. They would be like, I am not about this life. I cannot do this. It's too hard. They would look at it as a pipe dream. They would never actually take action. And what I love about this story is that I look at my brother and I'm like, we just have action taking in our blood. We are so willing to get messy, to get dirty with it. We just are going to take the moves, and whatever comes with us, we will as fluidly as possible, move through it and flow through it. And that's really the being. That's the being aspect. It's not that you're not good enough or capable of doing the things that you desire to do. It's just that you're not allowing yourself to feel the goodness of what could be. You're not even allowing yourself to taste it now because you're so afraid that you won't get it. And it's that's the difference. It's my brother. He's just a perfect example of this. I'm going there and he is they call him Portugal Aaron because he's just such a different human being. He's so happy. It's he did this thing. He took an idea from his mind, a total idea, and he fucking made it a reality in 9 months. And most people are not even trying to buy houses. They're just trying to get a visa. And it's so hard to get visas in different countries and to try and, do all these things. Now he's traveling the world. He's paying for his girlfriend. He doesn't even want his girlfriend to work unless she finds something that she really wants to do. He's don't waste your time. And he works maybe 2 hours a day trading because he's so good at it. And he's just yeah, I just make some money. I know that I can pay for myself. And now they're already planning on moving to a more beachside spot because they live in Lisbon. So they live in the big city. So it's this is a beautiful story of how my brother just literally was let me take an idea and let me just fucking go for it. And it just reminded me of how your resiliency, your bravery is the first step. And, if you're from the ARC, Align and Rise Collective, my membership, get on it if you desire it. It's one of those things where it's they all know that it's the first step isn't how do I make money? The first step isn't, it's not how do I tattoo? When you're building a business, when you're building a tattoo business, those things aren't the first things. What was the first thing, when you think about the very first thing you did before you became a tattoo artist? There was an idea to become one. And then there was the brave step and the brave steps you needed to take in order to start to take the actionable steps. You took the messy steps and to do it. And now you're in it. Now you own a business, and now you're running a business. And now as we grow, we need to evolve. So this means expansion. So that means we got to do more brave things in order to expand, in order to evolve, in order to grow, in order to make more money, in order to, grow a community, in order to impact more people, in order to create an iconic brand. Like, this is what you do. You take the brave step. It's like living life in courage. That's a value. You live life in courage. Make that a value today in your life. Because when you make courage a value in your life, there is nothing that will get in your way. Not even fear. You change the relationship you have with fear because you just decided to take the brave move. You decided to make a decision. And that's the biggest part I think people have. It's like they're not allowing themselves to claim who they are and to feel good about what is possible for themselves. But once you get out of limbo, once you just make the fucking decision, all of a sudden so many things start to happen. So many things start to fall into place. It's like, oh, I've made the decision to be this person. I made the decision to, act as if. So it's a be, do, have situation. You became a tattoo artist, but you had the thought first. So I want to be a tattoo artist. What do I need to how do I need to think? Who do I need to think as? What do I need to think like? Oh, that means that I got to go to art school. Maybe I got to learn how to draw. How do I get an apprenticeship? It's like all of these pathways start to go. And once you start doing it and you stick to it, all the pathways appear, right? So then you be, who am I to be in this moment? Who do I desire to be? I desire to be a person that knows how to walk with my fear. That's all I desire. It has nothing to do with business, and yet has everything to do with business. All I desire is learn and love to walk with my fear. And this is how we radically shift the way we do business, because it's growth as the whole artist. That's what I love. I love getting into rooms with people that understand that their value, first and foremost, is living life, like learning how to walk with your fear. And knowing that growth as the whole artist is actually what brings you success and wealth in your business. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to do. It's who you are being. It's like when you're able to navigate the big launches, the crunchiness beliefs around money, shifting businesses, going from tattooing to coaching, holding and supporting your artist at the same time you're trying to hold and support yourself. Even like people stealing your programs, people copying your tattoos, daily Telegram downloads, dealing with a dog that wakes you up all night, learning the ins and outs of living with someone. It's like all of these things that I'm even walking myself through, all of these hard things. Moving from one business to another, holding other artists in my shop, trying to be the best that I can be, trying to do all of these events, trying to just grow my business, trying to take new steps, new ways of doing things, new life. Being able to navigate this is not just about your business. This is about business and life. It's about the whole life and letting everything be easier. Like, I choose for it to be easier in my mind. There's a lot I'm holding. I'm holding space for so much. I'm holding space for my human, for my spirituality, for the bigness, for the expansion that I desire. But I know that I am the kind of person that values the relationship with my own fear. I could let this totally crumble me, or I could see the wisdom in it. What is the gold I get to turn out of this? Right? And so landing like this gets to be the moment where we're like, I'm opening myself up to expansion. I'm opening myself up to courage. As artists, we literally take raw material. We take stuff from our own lives and we create art with it. We take raw material, we create art with it. That's the same thing through the ins and outs of what you're going through. And this is where we're going to get into the content aspect of it. It's like we take what's in our life, the raw material of life, and we turn it into gold. So all the things I'm navigating through, I'm utilizing this as wisdom and power and value that I can offer to my space so that people can see themselves through my own lived experiences, through my own embodied experiences. And when you turn that shit into gold, you reach more people. So this is really about looking forward to all of the things, like looking forward to the crunch, looking forward to the the ickiness of growing, looking forward to like the hardness of what expansion involves. When you're expanding, it's growing, and when it grows, that hurts. It's like if you're expanding your belly to be pregnant, that's you're expanding, to release a child, you're expanding for a birth. Like that is uncomfortable. And so we look forward to those uncomfortable things because we bring more value to the world. We impact more people when we're willing to go first, when we're willing to see the value, see the gold within, all of the things that we're moving through. So embodied is the only thing, the word embodied just means I've walked myself through it. So when I'm talking about the most converting content is embodied content. Yes, we have authoritative content, which is authority content for tattoo artists is tattoo content. It's understanding, it's like, oh, this is the content. This is the level of standard I hold. These are the type of tattoos that I do. Here is what I do here. It's like this is the experience I have. This is very just like telling content. This is like, hey, I am an expert in my field. I'm an expert at what I do. I'm growing as an artist. I'm getting better every day, but the level of standard you take your photos, the professionalism with which you hold in your spaces, the tattoos that you do, that's authoritative content. That's just letting me know you're an authority. But if you only have that type of, you only have tattoo content on your page, then it's just a tattoo portfolio. Thank you for letting me know that you're good at what you do. But why should I choose you over anybody else? That's embodied content. The embodied content is what's really going to differentiate you between everybody else and you. Why I choose you. Because embodied content allows me in on what it is you believe. What is the story, your origin story, that allows me to understand why you're even here in the first place. For me, it's like, most people listen to this podcast and they're just like, oh my gosh, yes, growth. Like we're here, CEOs of fucking businesses. We're here, spiritual entrepreneurs. We don't see ourselves as starving artists anymore. We don't see ourselves as only tattoo artists. We're here because we're spiritual fucking creatives, entrepreneurs. We take raw material and turn that shit into art with tattooing, with regular, drawings, paintings, with content. That is our unique ability. Tattoo artists have such a unique position to be creating content because we do know how to take raw material and turn it into gold. We know how to take raw material and turn it into art. That's something that it's innate within us. That's something we should just be incredible marketers because of that reason. So we take all of the ins and outs, all of the things that we have gone through, all the dirt, all the shit, all the muck that has brought us to this point, and we turn that shit into gold, and we create we create stories around those lived experiences that relate to other people. That's embodied content.
I am here to interrupt this podcast to invite you into the best place on the planet. Now, I know you hear me talking about this all the time, but when you are in a community of like-minded spiritual entrepreneurs who are ready for growth in all areas of life and business, you can't help but scream it from the rooftops. So if you are looking or desiring to release the overwork and overwhelm in your business, you're looking to increase self-love and self-worth, you want to develop a new, fresh, optimistic, empowering attitude about social media and eliminate the blocks that hold you back so that you can call in higher cash months with ease, join us in the Ark, a place where we make mental and spiritual health the number one priority on the list, while simultaneously growing and scaling our tattoo business in the online space. When you join, you get $14,000. You get access to $14,000 in programs, daily trainings, live Q&A calls with me, meditations, masterclasses, all for a no-brainer price of $88 a month. Now, take it from me. It's one of those places when you get in and you taste the Kool-Aid, you're never gonna want to leave. So get in there. I can't wait to meet you.
Our our own lived experiences. Yes, they're ours, they're mine. Yes, that's mine. But they relate back to the people that are watching, to my soulmate client, to the person that wants to be in my space and find safety there. If they don't find safety within your space, within your content, then you're not trustworthy. And the whole thing about content is how to create trust, because people that trust you buy from you. And if you don't have that trust, you don't have a business. And that's the first and foremost thing. We need to understand that content is meant to make you money. So it's not about getting you like. You have to understand what content is actually going to make you money. Embodied content is going to make you money, especially if you're the type of tattooer that only is posting tattoos. The embodied content is the disruptor content. It's the content that nobody ever gets to see. It's the stuff that we're like, oh my gosh, I get to unconsciously stop I finally consciously stopped the scroll because they're finally talking, they're doing something different. And what often happens, and this is happening, I just taught Booked Out this morning, and this is class 4. And, what often happens is when we start to show up as ourselves, we start to see a lot of people dropping off. And this is where I like to look at it as exfoliation. We're getting rid of the dead skin. You don't need those people in your life. What you do need is you need clients to impact and money in your pocket. And that's how I see it. It's like, listen, this is a business. It's also our healing journey. Our healing journey gets to be a part of that business. That's the best part, because this is the whole experience. Growth as the whole artist. It's not just one or the other. It gets to coincide side by side together. Your spiritual and mental health and well-being gets to coincide with the growth of your business. That's actually the only way it grows. Is because when you focus on who you are being, determines what you do, and what you do determines what you have. Most people look at it as do, have, be. Like, I'll do the thing, and once I have it, I'll be this person. It doesn't work that way. You think it might. You're like, oh, I'm just going to do and do and do. And then once I have this thing, then conditionally I'll be happy, or conditionally I'll be less stressed, or conditionally I'll be less overwhelmed. When really that's not the case. It's like I have to choose a life of less stress. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like I got to get some help. It might look like that I need to start to really invest in myself to learn more, so that I'm not just doing a bunch of shit that I know doesn't work. I'm just throwing, the spaghetti wall strategy, where I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something will stick. Like, that's not what we're doing here. If I really desire a life of freedom, I really desire a life of ease, then I got to look at if I desire to be an easeful person, what is an easeful person? What are they like? They're like, well, my quality, like my value, is that I'm going to delegate everything that I don't need to be doing. I'm also going to get anything off of my plate that does not deserve to be there, because I'm going to be focusing on the 20%, especially if I want ease and I also want to grow a multi-6-figure $1 million business. So really, it's like, I got to take those steps. So this is where we got to get really, really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because when we do that, this is where this embodied content gets to really thrive in our spaces. It's like, I am this person. I'm showing up as a tattoo artist who values healing, as a tattoo artist who values growth and change and evolution, as a tattoo artist who values being seen. I think, honestly, if I were to guess what every single human being wants on this planet, is to feel like they can express themselves and feel seen and heard. I think every human wants that. I know that's what I fucking want. I just want to be able to say what's on my heart, say my piece, be exactly who I am, love myself in the process, and do big things. Like, for me, I value being a boss bitch. Like, I value being a CEO. I value high level shit. Like, I just value that. And sometimes I feel like people make me wrong for that. Sometimes I make myself wrong for that, for wanting big things, for wanting millions of dollars, for wanting to, take care of my family, for wanting to be so in understanding of my own subconscious and the relationship between my conscious and subconscious mind, and really almost conquer how to be in control, positively and consciously in control of my own self. Like that, I believe, is what's going to make me my millions of dollars, by understanding this and getting so good at it that I could teach others to do it, because I believe that it's like courage as a way of life is the only way you're going to get to where you want to go. It's just it. That's it. So for me, you've got to get into the embodied content. So embodied content is the content that matches the integrity of who you are. It's the scary kind of content. It's the content you might get judged by other artists. And what I love about that too is that if you do think it's going to get judged by other artists, I'll just tell you right now it will. So let's just like let that be okay. And why is it incredibly converting? It's like, think about it. People you follow for the art and they stay for the vibe, right? So we follow them for the art, we stay for the vibe. And when shown side by side with authority content, which is your tattoo content, it helps people decide to choose you over someone else. This is the connection point that you create between you and someone behind another screen. You're an energy match to them or you're not. You're a match to them or you're not. Like, that's what it is. Marketing is meant to create polarity. And I talk about this a lot. Everybody's like, I think there was someone in my booked out class that's like, my favorite word that Reese says is polarity. And it's like, it's true though. It's like, if I'm not equally repelling you and and attracting people all at the same time, I'm not memorable. I am not an identifiable brand. I am not an iconic brand. And so this is where it's like, what do you desire? Do you desire just to get by? Then what you're doing is probably perfect. But if you desire to fucking thrive, if you desire for the big, crazy things, I just had a conversation with someone that's coming on my retreat who was like, I just want to be able to take care of my family and allow them to go and travel, because it's not whatever I've ever, it's like I've never been afforded that, in my own life. I want to have a big purple Jeep, and it's like, I just love this bigness with which people's desires are. It's like, allow yourself to feel good in your desire. Allow it, because then you are going to see what you are capable of, because your dreams desire you back. There is no way you have these dreams. I look at your desires, your dreams as memories, as future memories, as memories of the future. Like, you're just having a memory of the future when you have a dream. That's it. My desires, all the things that I desire, whether it be the $10 million, whether it be being able to fly my entire family first class, to go visit my brother, whether it be to buy my sister a house or my mom a house, whether it be to just like be able to be such a generous person in my life and in just in life in general, is being able to give back 100%, like of what, like the tip of a restaurant. Like, that's what I desire. I know that's just a memory of my future. Your dreams are just memories of your future. And if you look at it like that, then you're like, wow, I'm actually just remembering what's actually there for me, what's available to me. And then I realize what I'm capable of. And then I go out and do a thing that's going to put myself out there. Yes, it's scary. And yes, it's uncomfortable. But I've changed the relationship I have with uncomfortability. And I start being the embodied version of who I want to be. I start being that person. I start becoming that artist. And that artist is an embodied human being. They share embodied work. They're not afraid of losing people because they know that the people they gain will be much more aligned. They might fear it a little bit, but hey, they're open to it. Right? The whole thing about this is getting to know you better than anything else. That's the only way you can become embodied, because that's the only way you're going to get to know what it is you desire. Success is so unique to each person out there. You don't need to have the success I desire, but your success is unique to you. And when you figure that out, you get to know yourself so well. You know how to heal the parts of you, the wounds, the scarcity, the money, whatever it might be that stops you, that startles you, that makes you back up and play small. And you work yourself through that stuff. You heal the emotional aspect of you, which changes your energy. And when you change your energy, you change the strategy. You change what you do. And the how just appears. Because once you start doing, because you've made a decision to do it, all of the things start to appear. All of the things just start happening. And that's the most beautiful part about it. So Embodiment content alongside authority content, which is your tattoos, is always going to be the most converting. And when I'm talking about converting, I don't mean a lot of likes and a lot of follows. I'm talking about conversion that helps create an action, which means that action, someone is either in your DMs or in your emailing waitlist or is trying to book with you. And that's the whole point of converting content. I hope this was a short and sweet love and message. I'm about to get to yoga, but I was just feeling a vibe. I miss you guys. Love you. See you in the next episode.